Hello, and this is a demonstration video for my high-tech mining ship. I'm just gonna go through all the basics that you need to know. The buttons are pretty much obvious. Button 1, drills. Button 2 and 3 are increment and decrease on the override on the back thrusters, so that if you increase back thruster torque, Newton, that means they'll accelerate the ship forward, and you can use that to mine, use the ship to mine on its own. Like you can drive the ship up to a rock like this, start the drills, leave your mouse completely alone at this point, and just tap a few times on that button number 2 to override the back thrusters. If you hold your Alt button down on your keyboard, your left Alt, you can then look around while it's mining on its own. And you can see at the back here the programs, the program running in it, displaying how much of everything that you get, like stone and iron right now. And it'll keep updating. Alright, enough of that. Heading out. Now, let's say, let's say you were doing this and you were going to back out of the asteroid, and this is a demonstration. I'm just going to damage the ship on purpose, turning off the drills, and you turn too soon or something, and this happens. Boom. And as you can see, it can take quite a bit of damage because it has heavy armor, but the mass of this thing and the gyros are so powerful that you can rip it apart. Anyways, the point was, with this, I'm just gonna rip a few more blocks off. Okay, there. Now let's get out of this. Let's say that happened, and you're like, oh no, now I have to go all through and repair all that. Well, actually you don't, because the ship has a pre-made projection in it, so you just press T, jump out of the cockpit, and don't turn around. You can just fly straight up, and the door sensor will open for you, and as you fly away it closes. Now inside here there's a projector, and it's pre-aligned with the hull and everything. So what you want to do is just access anywhere that you can access a control panel, doesn't matter, and go to just write projector, and then blueprints. It should already have this one loaded, but as you can see, it's preloaded here and it's already aligned with the ship. Then by taking something like this, which is a welding ship. Right now I'm in creative mode, so it would be instant, but you'll see the use that it has. Alright, so here's the damaged blocks, and by enabling the welders, it's instantly fixed. Well, in creative, but with this many welders and these dual welders, it's pretty instant. Alright, now turning that off, going back to the mining ship, and sometimes you gotta fly around the ship and like, where's the entrance? But what you gotta look for is these yellow blocks. I made these yellow blocks so that you know where the entrance is. The other things that the ship has is Like right now I've mined a little bit and I got a lot of stone. Here, I got nearly 600k of stone. And if I'm going on a long mining trip, I don't want to do that. I mean, I don't want all that stone. So there is there's an alternative to that, which is the stone ejection program. Let's see if it's tuned. Well, not really. Well, it looks to work like it's working. Yeah, just hit button 8 here on the hotbar. The default is button 8, and it'll shoot off stone like that. And you can use parts of the gravity drive to get rid of the stone too by pressing Shift 2, and then you have the forward gravity and the backward gravity, and just activate one of them, and it'll start sending the stone out into the void. Now, let's say I wanted to move, like, let's say I saw a resource on the other side, or I have marked a resource on the other side of this asteroid, and I wanted to move there real fast. I can use the gravity drive. I gotta turn off the stone program, or the stones are gonna rip my ship apart. Be right back while I fix this problem. Alright, yep, now using the stone program, you can just hit button 8 like this, and it'll start chucking stone out. You can hit button 9 and it'll stop. Now if you wanted to move around the asteroid to get some other resource or something, make sure to turn off the stone program, turn the ship around about 90 degrees or something, and switch to Shift 2, turn on the mass, and button 1 is forward, and it'll start accelerating the ship. It has a little bit of drag, so you gotta move the mouse a little bit, but it's not that much. But this'll move your ship faster than accelerating by the thrusters. So here we are on the other side. You want to switch. Click button 1 real quick and button 2, and then turn off everything and just leave it so that the inertia dampeners can stop your ship. And now we're on the other side of the asteroid. So if you load in this ship on your in your world and build it, I suggest that you should be using some good welder tools, because there's a lot of blocks. Well, quite a bit of blocks. What I recommend is, first of all, if you don't have the server setting where it resets ownership, you gotta reset the ownership on this one to yourself, me, like right here. When it comes to running the programs in the ship and sharing it with others, can be a little tricky. So if someone in your faction is using the ship, but the ship is built by you, which means you have the ownership, then the programs might not run properly because they refer to items in the ship, and if the program's being run by someone else and trying to access blocks that are not owned by them, it might not work. But I'm not 100% sure. The ship's exterior has, well, it has a little bit of a frame, a heavy armor frame, and then it has a med station in case something fatally happens. It has a passenger seat, which now is no longer a seat, but an actual cockpit. You could probably drive the ship from here, but it's meant as a passenger seat. It has 4 ore detectors. Doesn't really need it, but in order to balance the gravity drive, the more symmetrical the ship is, the better. As well as, if you have accidents, colliding and stuff, this helps you. Like if you crash the ship on one side, you still wouldn't be able. I mean, you wouldn't lose the ability to see ores at all. So you still have a spare one. And every inventory is connected to everything, of course. In here, this is a oxygen generator, and on the inside of that is an oxygen tank, and on top of that again is the cockpit. Let me see if I can turn on the lights here. Well, they don't function as they used to. Anyway, gravity drive, yes. It helps on acceleration, especially when since they've added that all the mined ores are gonna add to the weight or the mass of the ship, so it's gonna help on accelerating when you're out mining. And then inside here, I don't know if you can see it. Hold on. There. Inside here is the jump drive, which helps a lot these days when you're moving big masses of minerals, and especially in this ship because it has the heavy armor weighs its own quite a bit, and the drills, of course, but it's all the ores, and it can store, like, if you see here, cargo capacity, it says 0.0%, but it has already 1.4 million iron and 600,000 stone and 1.1 million ice, and it hasn't even started using cargo space. I don't know if that's working properly, to be honest. It should, though. But here you can see, let me turn off the lights. Here you can see how much power you're using, how many reactors are currently working, how much fuel you have, the current cargo usage, cargo space usage, your oxygen bottle count, your oxygen tank level, and your current ice in the ship. And here are your ores. You have secondary monitors in the back, right here. They display the same info. That's for third person. Well, this ship is meant for third person flying, but if you're flying like this, or jumped out of the cockpit, you'll use these, but while you're mining, you can use the rare ones. And that's pretty much all the basics right there. And it's decently cost efficient building this ship. I mean, once you have a couple of refineries, a couple of assemblers, it wouldn't take that long building this ship, to be honest. It might look like a lot, but it's not a lot. And finally there is the jump drive, which, well, for those that doesn't know how to use jump drive, you go to control panel, just write jump, select the jump drive, and what you want to do is, like, GPS coordinates, like I have right now, one for my base on this map. So select the base in the control panel, jump drive, just right here, select, oh, right here, select that one, and once it's selected, let's say you see the markers down there. This is base in blue writing. Let's say I flew from the base out here, I'm done mining, and then I just hit the gravity drive button, which is number 6 on the hotbar right here, and yes, it counts down and it teleports the ship to the base. Like that.